Greetings, my fellow spiritual seekers, old souls, and everybody watching this podcast today. I'm Rishi Bharadwaj, and today we would be dwelling into a very, very interesting topic because we have a section of society who would love to understand the realities and knowledge into a different pattern altogether, or probably into a very scientific aspect. And this is going to be one of the most interesting podcasts because we have our guest, Miss Aasthaa, who I would like to welcome again. Hello, ma'am. How are you doing today?
Hello, I'm feeling very good, Rishi. How are you?
I'm fantastic, ma'am. Thank you. And so lovely to have a soul like you because I can actually feel the vibes when you are around. It's
Oh,
more of your energies
thank
which
you.
speaks more than the language. And coming to the subject, since we discussed energy, ma'am, I've always read in the ancient scriptures or anywhere I go, wherever I read, there's this reference to energy and consciousness. They say that everything that pervades in this universe is nothing but energy and consciousness. Would you love to shed some light, or at least how do you perceive the phenomena of energy as such?
Rishi, I want to say that our universe is made up of matter and energy.
Right?
And we, as a part of the cosmos, we all are energy. We are consciousness, and consciousness is energy. So, energy vibrates at a certain frequency, and here we can segregate the frequency of the vibration into two parts. It's directly correlated to our consciousness, which comprises of our thoughts, our feelings, our emotions. So, wherever we feel anger, stress, anxiety, frustration, victimhood, these are all depression, these are all called the lower states of our
I
experiences.
see.
We call them energies vibrating at a lower frequency. I hope this is very easy to understand for the audience
I'm sure.
to comprehend. And likewise, when we feel love, joy, peace, gratitude, compassion, kindness, self-love, devotion, worship, and feelings like that, they are called the higher frequency states of our experience. And that's why we can call them as the higher frequency emotions. That we as humans, it's our responsibility to be aware and conscious in each and every moment of our life. That are we nurturing ourselves with with what quality of our frequency vibrations?
Indeed, ma'am, this is very insightful. And I can so much relate to what you're speaking because when I was trying to understand and comprehend the essence of energies, also I've read somewhere, I don't remember where, but Nikola Tesla has basically emphasized on this fact that the person who understands the language of energies in the way of frequencies, vibrations, and wavelengths have already, you know, got the code altogether of this universe. Are you aware of this?
Absolutely, Rishi.
I'm
You
sure.
are absolutely right.
Also, the point I would like to emphasize here is that in naturopathy and all these nature sciences, they usually teach that the body has its own intellect, and by this they probably meant that all your 50 trillion cells are nothing but one each individual life which are working in colony and tandem with each other. How beautiful this mechanism could be.
Absolutely.
Like, I don't think there is any other complex mechanism than a human body. So wonder that is the human body. Would you like to shed some light on the human body, especially pertaining to the kind of thought patterns, the thoughts that come and go, the way it affects the biology of the human body?
Yeah, so like I said that we all are energy, we are consciousness. Likewise, our thoughts, they also carry a frequency of energy, a vibration. It's very real to really, dig into it. And it's very easy to even see it from your own eyes. That the nature of thought that is coming to your mind, it straight away affects a reaction in our body. For example, if you say that I'm not good enough to be doing a certain task, and on the other hand, if you affirm and say that I can probably try doing this task without controlling the outcome.
Right.
Rishi, do you feel the difference here?
I'm sure.
Do you feel the nature of the thought over here? Don't you think that the first thought is constricting
Very true.
and the second thought is affirming and expansive?
Very true. Very true.
So when the nature of thoughts are restricting, constricting, that gives tensions in our body
I see.
directly. Because see, every feeling produces an emotion, and every emotion is connected to our nervous system.
Right.
And our nervous system is supposed to be releasing a reaction in the body, and that is felt by the body.
Sorry to cut you in between, but there is a reference which I've recently read in your book, The Homecoming, that you have mentioned very beautifully that your thoughts are actually, created into realities. How would you like to emphasize on this? Your thoughts basically create your realities. Like, what do you mean by this?
Again, it rotates around the same concept that whatever energy we are emitting from our system, it comes back to us. That is the law of the universe.
I see.
Whatever thoughts, emotions, feelings that we have, they will come back to us. So every word, even every word holds a certain frequency of energy. So again, the nature of your thoughts, like, if you, for example, again, I tell you, if you think that the world is cruel, everybody is bad, I'm the victim, trust me, Rishi, you will attract the same in return.
Sure, ma'am.
And on the other hand, if you just feel and if you just affirm, in fact, that the world is so good, everybody is so good, and I'm going to be receiving all the good things in life, you will see that the universe is sending you all the things to you like that, because that is how you're attracting everything through your energy in your environment. So it's a very beautiful consciousness that you can easily learn, that a human soul is comprised of 3 core elements. It is the spirit, it is the mind and body. When anything is misaligned with the intelligence and wisdom of all 3 elements, we suffer. So if I come to the intelligence and wisdom of the body, it's an undeniable truth that our body holds its own intelligence and wisdom.
Sure.
It's all the time communicating to us, but we usually lost in our own world that we ignore to listen to it. If we don't listen to our body, the universe has this way of sending something and somebody in your life who will betray you so much because you have betrayed yourself already and you couldn't say no
And abound to learn
yourself.
lessons.
Yeah. So there is a way that universe also puts you on a track.
Correct.
It teaches you all the time. And it's our responsibility to dig into everything that is happening to us is teaching us something. It's all about learning.
So true.
When we do not set boundaries, or when we do not express our true selves or our true expressions, we suppress, and we suppress. Most cancers get manifested because of that. I want to say this to everybody.
See.
Those diseases, they have to get manifested because they have been suppressed for so long. The body says, I feel some dissonance, or there is some pre-annoyance. So the body is trying to communicate everything by its own intelligence.
See.
Because the true nature of a body is again disease free.
Correct.
And we unconsciously betray and self sabotage ourselves by ignoring, by not listening to our bodies. All the pains, aches, sicknesses, illnesses is a manifestation of our own ignorance, thoughts, emotions
So true.
of lower frequencies.
And then we have to add up to the complaints and cribbing and crying.
Exactly. And then we very conveniently say that we are the victim. And then in return, we attract
manifest
more, yes, we
in the-
attract more victimhood.
That's a vicious cycle that we fall into.
That is the vicious cycle. And most of the people spend their entire life like this without even knowing about it.
In fact, I have seen a lot of cancer patients coming out of cancer without requiring any chemotherapies, only on the basis of positive thoughts,
Absolutely.
positive counseling, just good thoughts, good deeds.
Absolutely.
And this is, I don't know how to put this into, but this is evidence based, and this is something that the doctors are pondering over, and something that the scientific community should, contemplate.
Absolutely.
That all that is happening within your body, it's not always the environment. It's basically your mindset. It's basically your mind, your thoughts, which are responsible, where your cells are listening to them. Ma'am, also, in fact, I have read somewhere that the mind, or the number of thoughts that crosses a person throughout a day, are somewhere around 60,000 to 90,000.
Yes.
And out of them, if at all there is anything important or anything comprehensible, there are only 4 to 10 thoughts which are actually, that matters. Something that are
That you're
considerable.
nurturing yourself with.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Rest all are nothing but clutter and things that you do not require.
Yes, absolutely. This is true, Rishi.
So the kind of negativities, the kind of unnecessary clutter that we are holding into, I mean, it is such a beautiful science if pondered upon in a scientific with backing of a spiritual essence. This can be a very deadly combination to understand any subject for that matter. What do you have to say on that, ma'am?
I would like to say, it really, when I woke up to this myself, I realized how our pharmacy and pharmaceutical establishments have been working so far. Okay, we have some illness, we go to the doctor, to the relevant doctor, and he just asks some questions and give the English medicines or whatever medicines. Nobody really asks what's the cause behind the manifestation of this physical ailment, and how the entire population has been, I feel that we are all the victim of this old establishments and program setups, which are continuously gripping us into its own darkness. However, like I said, the world is changing, and we are gradually moving towards energy medicines, alternate healing therapies,
Vibrational medicine.
vibrational therapies,
True.
a lot of retreat therapies, medicine.
Nature-centric for that matter.
Absolutely.
So we can probably see people going back to the roots, that is in nature. And we can already see how the default or the base or the foundation is where the person is trying to reach, and that is nothing but all your answers are in Mother Nature.
And I'm telling you that 90% of our sickness and ailments, they're all our own manifestations.
So true.
We have only created them.
They're all our creations.
We have, what, it takes a lot to acknowledge that we are the biggest role player in our own suffering. That takes a tremendous courage, and that is also, we call it as the first step towards self-love. When you rip yourself apart and then you see into the shadows of yourself, to acknowledge that how have you been responsible for your own reality.
But has a human being, stooped down to a level of shallowness of thinking in order to attract something this negative for himself? Like, are we those convenient beings who discriminate between good and bad based on their conveniences and then attract and then face the repercussions or the result out of it?
See, It is all very subjective, and seriously, it's everybody's one's own responsibility. Everybody is responsible for their own life and reality. Because again, I'm telling you all that we humans are so immensely powerful that we are the creators of our reality. And it just takes some awareness and some consciousness that we can change our reality whenever we want, however we want.
How I look at this is basically not complaining, but I wish I knew something of this caliber, something of, this concentrated knowledge was taught to me in my early days, in my probably school days, or when I was in a state of being moldable, or probably, at the right time, at the right place with by the right people. I would have definitely been a different personality and a person, rather soul today. What I have no idea, I'm not complaining, but I have this desire. Why aren't we taught anything like that? And what is that you, as a spiritual entrepreneur, as a spiritual soul, look towards subjects like this?
Well, Rishi, my heart completely resonates with what you said. Myself, when I see my own life's journey, I also feel in a complacent mode that I wish I'd been given some higher education, some higher knowledge and wisdom of the inner education. My life would have been different too. So I feel that since I'm the receptor of certain wisdom that I've explored and discovered in the journey of my life, so this just brings me to the point that I have to share it in such a way that it goes to the seed level first, to our precious children. They are the right age to plant the seeds of the wisdom of certain things.
Wow.
Surely the quantum spirituality or mindfulness and self-compassion practices, basically the holistic inner education that I call. So that is actually my life's purpose now. If I could help raise a new era of civilization, of
Wow.
awakened souls.
Just to ask on this, is that what you envision? Is this what you are on a journey of? What would be your life mission if this is what you're actually speaking on? This is more exciting for me now.
Rishi, I have got all the answers from the divine about my life's purpose, and I'm trying to just dedicate my life over it as much as I can. Something has become really stubborn inside me. So it just feels like a mission. It just feels like a mission. It just feels like my soul mission and divine purpose for what I'm born for and sent on earth is that I wish to integrate the ancient wisdom of mindfulness and self-compassion and spirituality into the education system, because that's the best channel to get through the children at that level, when they can be beautifully molded, and where children can, they do not really need to follow it, but at least that would give them a chance to question,
And learning
to
by
self
doing.
reflect, to introspect,
True.
to understand about themselves. At least they would have an opportunity to question. The inquiring children is what I want to bring up. I want children to think like that.
No wonder what makes you a spiritual entrepreneur, because I think that is a need of today's century for that matter. Because all we need is upliftment of consciousness in the citizens, especially when we look at the Gen Zs, when you look at some other generations. There is so much to unlearn, so much to learn, so much to drop, so much to pick up. And trust me, what you're trying to do here, ma'am, is something that is a need of the hour. And not just that, probably even the government supports your vision, because with the integration of, or the execution of National Education Policy 2020, I think there is. I'm sure it
yes.
is aligning with
It is
that.
aligned with the national education
Wow.
policy. It is aligned with the spiritual spectrum of education.
So beautiful.
And I'm very well looking forward to have it fulfilled.
Wow. This
And
is
see what I have experienced is that so far the kind of education that we are taught in schools, that education has never been able to cultivate a sense of inner peace, inner wisdom, resilience, empathy, or gratitude. So I really feel that that is lacking because we as humans have ventured or venture so much in the outer and the external world. It becomes an absolute necessity to be educated for our inner environment. It becomes an absolute necessity, or I will say it's the birthright, to have such an education for ourselves from the very, very budding age.
I'm sure this is going, just dimensions ahead, and I'm sure I wish you the best for all this because you're just, holding the nerve of this world, what the world needs. The kind of blessings that are going to flow towards you from all the parents, the stakeholders involved, the
Yeah.
teachers. I'm sure the kind of workforce that is going to be associated with you is probably going to reap only the byproducts, benefits, and blessings out of this process. Having spiritual entrepreneurs like ma'am itself is a blessing for the whole society. I personally feel so. And just to ask you a last question, ma'am, what makes you happy or what will make you happy?
What makes me happy is the present moment.
Wow.
What makes me happy is the moment of here and now. It's when you and me are talking because this is where I see life. This is what which I call life. Feel, and I openly say that I'm an extremely, extremely blessed soul, and that exuberates so much inside me, this emotion, that I just feel like sharing that blissfulness, that energy of extreme love, compassion, and expansion, to share it with everybody, to in fact all the world.
I'm sure souls like Miss Astha are those ascended souls on this planet, probably, who are the chosen ones. They're chosen one for a definite purpose, just like every one of us. Probably I'm probably good with something, you could be good with something. She's probably chosen for one particular aspect wherein she's trying to disseminate all the wisdom that she has received as universal gifts to her without keeping it to oneself and being only selfish about it like most of the people or the so basically more than that she wants to disseminate as a channel and also make sure the people who associate with this mission benefits as just as a byproduct. And I'm sure this is going to help not just you, your respective organization, or the stakeholders, but the generation all together to uplift their own consciousness and awareness to acknowledge oneself and know thyself. Ma'am, this is a very beautiful and insightful podcast that I had today. And I'm sure our audience is loving what we are actually contemplating on, what we are deliberating. And this is something that the world needs, need to hear, need to acknowledge, need to understand, and probably even question more. I thank you once again, ma'am,
Thank you,
for giving
Rishi.
your time and
Thank
thank
you
you for
so
having me
much.
here.
Radhe, Radhe to
I
you
want
and
to,
everyone.
I thank everyone on behalf of you, and I will see you in the next episode. Signing off for today, this is Rishi Bharadwaj. Thank you.